President Harris's week of soft interviews might not be going according to her plan. Critics from both sides of the aisle saying she needs to do more in order to convince Americans that she is up for the job. Fox News contributor Karl Rove joins us now. Interesting piece in the Wall Street Journal talking about who is Kamala. She says she's not going to be Joe Biden, but she's not telling us who she is. And Karl, I think the fear is Joe Biden sold his soul and let the fringe control him. And ultimately, she may do the same exact thing, except she's more left than he was, which really could be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and look, these interviews have not served her well. She gave the Trump campaign a line that I'm sure is going to show up in ads and is going to be repeated ad nauseum in his speeches and by surrogates, and that is that when she was asked what would you have done differently, she said, "I can't think of an important thing." That was the moment where she needed to be able to say, "Look, here's what I intend to do as president," and to say things that caused people to say she's going to be different than Biden. So unless she changes in these interviews and begins to talk about substantive things that cause people to say this is going to make her different, she's going to have trouble. It's going to be a bumpy ride for her.
Swing state polling is very close. We are less than 30 days out. What do these candidates need to be doing right now?
Well, she needs to be laying out the concrete details of what it is that cause her to be seen in people's minds as a strong and effective leader who will, hew more to the middle. So it needs to be substance. She's winning on a lot of personal characteristics. People believe that she cares about people like they think that she'll be more honest and trustworthy. But he's winning on the issue of strong leadership. So if she wants to diminish that advantage, she needs to be seen as a strong leader. He leads on the issues, the three most important issues: the economy, inflation, and the border. She has diminished his lead, but she needs to continue to work to diminish that lead. That can only be done by saying substantive things. What does he need to do? He needs to be more disciplined. This morning I got up and I was watching his Detroit economic speech of a day or two ago, and he spent the first 10 minutes talking about how it really was true that he'd been awarded the Man of the Year by the Oakland Republican Party 15 years ago, and why the New York Times was wrong to say that he hadn't been named Michigan's Man of the Year. Well, he had been named by the local county Republican Party. What did that have to do with the economic club and laying out a message about what he would do for the future of the country? He leads today on the three big issues. He's going to lose that lead or lose a big advantage that he's enjoyed in the past if he doesn't start to pay particular attention to that.
All right, he's doing something else, though, Karl. He's going to Aurora, Colorado. He's going to New York. He's going to California. Now, I'm a sports guy. I like playing offense, right? Play to win. That seems like he's playing offense. But is it a strategy that you think will help him in this election?
Well, I actually had this conversation with him in May of 2016, in which I said you need to stay focused on the battleground states, and the only time that you ought to go outside of a battleground state is when you do either have to raise money or you have something that has a national import. Now, what he's trying to do in Aurora, Colorado, is use the presence of members of a Venezuelan gang to make the argument that immigration is affecting every community around the country. We'll see how well that goes. California is not so clear to me, but every day you spend in a state like Aurora, Colorado, or Southern California is a day you can't spend in a state that is absolutely critical for your election. And we do know that if a candidate appears in a place, it tends to help gain more strength for his candidacy. So.
Shut the fuck up. Nigga being weird. Just as weird. That's my problem. Baby with a little bit. Fuck out there. Little bitch ass with a nigga be nigga. Little baby with a nigga be nigga. What the fuck up with a bitch ass nigga? Idiot moron, strikes again. No doubt, I love this land. God bless the USA.
They asked him what do you think about Iran? Would you hit Iran? And he goes, as long as they don't hit the nuclear stuff. That's the thing you want to hit, right? I said, I think he's got that one wrong. Isn't that the what you're supposed to hit? I mean, it's the biggest risk we have. Nuclear weapons, the power of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. You know, I rebuilt the entire military, jets, everything. I built it, including nuclear, and I hated to build the nuclear, but I got to know firsthand the power of that stuff. And I'll tell you what, we have to be totally prepared. We have to be absolutely prepared. But when they asked him that question, the answer should have been, hit the nuclear first and worry about the rest later. And that's what they should. That's what if they're going to do it.
We're gonna do it. Do it. Decrease the surplus population.
Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today?
Tommy Nation Politics. Light up all the candles all around. Show me to the subway, I'll go down. Nothing can be sweeter than the sound of making love. Baby, when I start, I just can't stop. I love you from the bottom to the top. Nothing is forbidden when we touch. Baby, I wanna do all of the things your man won't do. I'll do them for you. All the things your man won't do, guys. It's Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. And I'm here to do all the things tonight that your man won't do. Who's your man? Where your man at? I know where the right-winger man is at, right? Why is he right-wing? I don't know. Is he conservative? He tripled the deficit. I don't really think he's conservative, but they call him right-wing. The right-wingers picked him as the president nominee. He's supposed to be about what? Getting government out of the lives of people, right? Isn't that what the conservatives' ideology is? Well, he's calling for the CBS to lose broadcasting rights over Harris interview. CBS to lose broadcasting rights. Who's going to take their rights away? The government, Donald? Problem. So I say again, is Donald Trump a conservative? Because he wants the government to get involved with CBS. Of course, Donald Trump, in reality, is not a conservative or a liberal. He's just a rich brat, moron, idiot. And his feelings are hurt, or his crowd sizes are smaller, or his fucking, his tie's too long. Something's up with that guy. He's becoming insane. He's reminding us all about how repulsive he is, how dumb he is, and how really not much of a I don't know. They're trying to frame him the right wing as some kind of outsider, right? But everybody knows that he literally was a Democrat. He donated to Democrats. He donated to Kamala Harris. He lived in California and donated to Kamala Harris, her attorney general campaign, which she the only campaign she won, bro. And the reason that Donald Trump was running in the first place is because the Democrats took his money and did nothing. That's why he calls them the do nothing Democrats. Because the Democrats are where legislation goes to die. It's where change goes to stagnate. They're the gradualizing drug, the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Democrats. They're a false sense of security. They're fake populists. They're anti-left, neocon warmongers, war criminals. That's what Democrats are. That's for certain. I don't know what Trump is. But I definitely have come to the conclusion with facts and evidence and, of course, my memory of his last 4 years that he is not, in fact, an outsider. And in fact, how can an outsider even have any kind of
sway and conglomerate media corporate boards deciding whether or not broadcasting rights should be revoked. He's got a whole bunch of connections, Donald Trump. Now, I'm going to talk about Kamala too, guys, because as you know, we're free thinking, innovative, open minded. We want to have both sides. Talk about both sides. How both sides are really one side. It's one party to rule us all in the darkness, polarize us or bind us, bind our minds, confuse our thoughts, befuddle our senses. It's what's going on. It's so fitting that Halloween is coming up, guys, right before the election. Because I feel like this election cycle is literally a spell. They're weaving a fucking spell over our country, making us think that we triple the deficit because of our fucking regime change wars. Making us we're in debt. They did I don't remember fucking buying 4,000 tanks and asking Ashraf Ghani, a fake president of Afghanistan, to try to hold, the Taliban at bay. I don't remember running up a credit card bill of $4 trillion. Do you? It's ridiculous the shit they're saying, bro. Like outright, upright, ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. So, the only really thing about Donald Trump, the only hint or resemblance of him, as far as conservative ideology goes, is he has a lot of friends that are conservatives. I guess I don't really know what conservative is anymore. All these words are changed. Right, left, conservative, communist. I mean, they're all just propaganda terms now that the media uses to confuse us and befuddle our thoughts. It's all a spell. It's a spell, bro. We're under a spell. Words don't really mean anything anymore. Ideologies don't exist anymore. The only thing that matters, like Lord Voldemort said in Sorcerer's Stone, is power. It's power, Harry. Those who have it and those who are too weak to achieve it. There is no good or evil, Harry. There is only power. Lord Voldemort, bro. Smart guy. He lost to a fucking kid. Smart guy, I guess. Very smart. Smart guy. Conservative think tanks laying the groundwork for possible second Trump administration, policy. Of course, most famously, Project 25 is in the news. Project 2020, whatever they're calling it. It's a think tank, conservative, bullshit manifesto. The right wingers are running around talking about the Karl Marx the Communist Manifesto. There was no manifesto so ardently used by our corrupt politicians. Not the Communist Manifesto, the conservative think tank Heritage Foundation manifestos. You know why money is speech now, guys? Because the Heritage Foundation cooked up this money is speech document and they pushed it through the Supreme Court. It was called Citizens United. And it said that money is speech and corporations can speak through donations. And now legalized bribery is rampant throughout our entire country. That's what the Heritage Foundation. So, at some point, you have to realize the media is insightful, letting you know that the Heritage Foundation is up to their own agendas, which obviously is to support the corporate, oligarchs, people that make the power and the rules and the world order occur, and keep it from the working class. Make sure that the 1% own more wealth than the bottom 90% combined, and nothing will fundamentally change. Make sure that the wages are stagnated while the cost of living rises. And the Fed has free reign over the rates and value of our money. It's all not up to the people. It's all up to these, of course, rich people, because they know better. They work so hard for that money. So, the America First Policy Institute. That's what a little branch off of Heritage Foundation. It's all one little cabal. You got Turning Point USA, Heritage Foundation. What is that? PragerU. They're all just a part of the same kind of web. of Heritage Foundation oligarchs that are just going to spend and spew and manufacture a message of consent through group statements. And the group said in a statement, the American First Policy, that the system should be secured through their agenda. So it's not surprising the hostile foreign actions would attempt to infiltrate, the U.S. government, because of course our U.S. government is already infiltrated by foreign agents, and we're funneling money to their countries at the present moment. I'm not going to mention any names, guys, but you know who they are. So, of course, reporters have been mounting in recent months that foreign actors are seeking to undermine the 2024 election. Of course, Russia is a big favorite of theirs to talk about, since we're doing a proxy war that we provoked in order to try to undermine Putin's sovereign authority in his own country. We put bases all around Ukraine. We tried to induct them into NATO, which was like the last red line since we made the deal with Gorbachev to tear down the wall in the Cold War era. So now, like, literally, Putin hasn't reacted to any of our aggressive provocations until now, because this is literally it. The entire neocon administration of Joe Biden's and Lindsey Graham are on Fox News openly talking about how they want to try to regime change Russia. Lindsey Graham, of course, told everybody in Russia to try to assassinate him and offered money. He did that on Sean Hannity. He told the people of Russia to try to kill their president. Well, that's American values right there, guys. I swear to God. These guys are mockeries at the time. But sowing distrust and, of course, propaganda influencing the upcoming election with their version of what is patently insane and on its face projection, the foreign agents thing. We also have polls coming out that this little game neocons have played, which I guess somewhere somehow they switched over from George W. Bush onto the Democrat Party side. Nicole Wallace, George W. Bush's old press secretary, is in MSNBC endorsing Kamala Harris. And of course, Joe Biden, who was the biggest neocon, bigger than George W. Bush. But Joe Biden was the biggest neocon there could ever be. And his protege, the half black, half Indian, half word salad Kamala Harris, who is best known for locking up black people for smoking marijuana and laughing about it, and incarcerating children who didn't go to school. She loves jail. She loves the jails. She loves to use jails as incentives. She's very motivated, Kamala Harris. You can tell she's so happy to motivate. She laughs a lot. Well, she's having trouble in the swing states, especially Michigan, because polls say that she might be leading in Pennsylvania, but there's a whole bunch of Muslim voters in Michigan that have refused to endorse her, vote for her, as long as the genocide in Gaza continues, and she's facilitating mass murder of children and women, while completely telling you at the convention that she's going around the clock wanting a ceasefire. Yeah, what's the best way to get a ceasefire? Just keep giving them weapons, right? That makes sense. Nothing really makes sense, guys, what they're doing. Actions speak louder than words, guys. And the actions of Michigan voters in the polls today are causing alarm and a panic throughout the Harris campaign, even though, she should have been panicking a long time ago. This woman did not even win in a primary. She has no business being the Democratic nominee. The only reason she's the Democratic nominee is because the Democratic Party has revealed themselves to not be any kind of, democratic institution. They're merely a branch of an organization that is their goal is to achieve election and power through government, and their members are wealthy Wall Street and pharmaceutical industry CEO hedge fund owners that are trying to use identity politics to distract everyone from the fact that these people they're literally, I mean, they're the people that had slaves. Let's keep it real. These old families, the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, these people started slavery in the first place, and they never stopped. They really never stopped slavery. If y'all want to be real about it, they just kind of changed the language. They updated the terms and conditions of slavery, but they never changed anything about slavery. Slavery is still completely 100% it's part of our heritage, it's part of our economy, and it's part of our agenda, especially the part where it comes to Democrats and Republicans. Don't forget their first compromise was free states or slave states. So these two parties built on the foundation of slavery, and their owners, the wealthy families that are facilitating corruption and widespread violence throughout the entire world in hopes to maintain power. These people are slave owners, and they've always believed in slavery. And that's why Trump, of course, Trump doesn't believe in the rights of anyone. He doesn't believe you have rights if you're not rich. Don't forget, the Electoral College took away democracy from people that didn't have land. Our whole system is based on slavery and feudalism. If you just look, if you just look up, let's look up, guys. Forget the carrot dangling over your head. Forget the Roe v. Wade codification. Forget the border crisis amendments. Forget the infrastructure and tax discourse that never goes anywhere and never gets fixed. Forget the endless uh, debate about taxing the rich. Forget about all of the little distractions, all of the little conversations that we've been having for the last 50 years. That nothing has fundamentally changed since we've started having these conversations, and focus on the things that are happening in reality. What's happening in reality, guys, is the neoliberal policies that have increased wealth, income inequality, have created circumstances that have now led us up to all World War III, unsafe conditions on a global scale. They've led to inflation on a global scale. They've led to poverty on a global scale. They've led to immigration out of control on a global scale. It's led to unrest in our cities on a global scale. It's left all of us with deficits of our own, with credit cards and predatory loan officers on a global scale. It's left us with sickness and obesity on a global scale. It's left us with nothing good. Nothing good, guys. Yet, the reason I'm on what's this thing called? The reason I'm on this thing is I'm wondering. I'm honestly wondering how much longer, how much more can you guys take? How much more can you guys get slapped in the face before you fucking forget about the carrot that these people are dangling over your head and focus on the cause of these issues, the reasons why you can't afford rent and groceries, the reason why you are not mentally healthy, the reason why you haven't had wage increases, the reason why pensions have disappeared from working class companies, the reason why right to work has decimated the power of the worker, and we are slaves once again to rich white men. Focus on the reasons, guys. Don't focus on the problems. Don't focus on the symptoms. Focus on the cause. And if you look up and if you see the root cause, it stuns me, guys, that you are literally going to vote for the cause of the problems that you want to fix. You're going to, in November, you are going to cast a ballot. You see the symptoms of the decline of our American dream. And you're angry about all of the problems. And then you're going to look up and you're going to literally grow the problems by voting for the cause. I'm just going to pause at this to you guys. If the Democrats and Republicans didn't exist anymore, I don't think there would be poverty. I don't think there would be immigration crisis. I don't, because nobody would be drone striking other countries and creating refugees, right? So why would there be immigrants coming over here when there's no drone strikes happening in their countries, right? I don't think there would be any kind of, you know, conversation surrounding abortion that would have to not, that would like, life, liberty, and happiness. Why are we talking about the rights of other people and whether they should have them? Why is the conversation framed in that way? Because the Constitution clearly says that we have life, liberty, and happiness. We have the rights to life, liberty, and happiness. So these conversations have already been decided through our Constitution, through the foundations and principles of our country. Foundations and principles that we are all supposed to, the common bonds that define us. And here these two parties come around, turning around on its face all of our principles and dividing us on what should actually honestly be common sense, case closed, fucking ideals, bro. Life, liberty, and happiness. That's what we do. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Why are we having a conversation about another person's rights and to have a conversation with a doctor about their health? This whole conversation surrounding abortion is ridiculous. But yet the Democrats are going to use this as a carrot to hang over your head to make you dependent on whether or not they maintain power within the government. Because at the end of the day, guys, if they gave you anything, what you wanted, if they actually let you have life, liberty, and happiness, if they allowed you to live your life in a way of freedom and the American way was meant, then you would no longer be dependent on the Democrats or Republicans. You would no longer need them. So why would you vote for them? These guys need you to vote for them. It's the only way that they get elected. So the only way they get elected is if you need them. So if they give you things, then you don't need them anymore. So why would they give you anything? Giving you things is dangerous. Because if they give you something, you might not need them anymore. And we can't have that. Because once you guys grasp that simple, logical premise, once you guys literally get your heads out of your asses and just look up, bro. Once you see that you are contributing to the cause of the decline of our country, and you see who the enemy really is. It's not transgenders. It's not Hamas. It's not blacks. It's not Jews. It's not white people. It's not your neighbor who didn't get a vaccine. It's the Democrats, Republicans. And once we all figure out that, and I have to say, guys, it's just a matter of time until we do. There's only so much. I don't think you guys are stupid. I think you guys aren't. I think you're just afraid. But I think that there's going to come a time where you guys are going to get tired of getting bitch slapped around. You're going to get tired of having a carrot dangle in front of you, and you never get to have it. I've already been tired of that. I've been tired of that a long time ago. But I guess I have to wait until most of the country comes to where I'm at already. It's only a matter of time until you fucking get tired of this fucking string along game, in which the only thing that ever changes is the Democrat or Republican administration. Everything else stays the same, or worse. your life is worse. Your cost of living is worse. Your streets are worse. Your children's education is worse. Your health is worse. Everything else is getting worse. The only thing the only thing that maintains itself is the power that you give them to continuously kill us slowly. And once you guys realize this, don't feel bad, too bad. I mean, they lie professionally. They've got the media to pound in their dumb talking points, and they do spread and create fear. They're demons. I don't really believe in Satan or demons in a spiritual way, but if anything or anybody is like Satan, like the deceiver, the prince of lies, who has principality over the world and dominion over evil and all human flesh and nature, they are most likely resembling Satan. These two parties, they're more than anything resembles anything else. Like really, really, the resemblance of Satan these two parties have. I mean, it's enough to get me to think about religion in an interesting way. Maybe Jesus, when he was tempted in the garden, he had Nancy Pelosi and fucking Mitch McConnell fucking trying to get him to fucking do a deal with Bowen. Hey, just sign this, Mr. Jesus, and all this will be yours, bro. My donors told me. Yeah, all these Christians, bro. All these Christians that listen to Jesus. It's easier for the rich man to go through the avenue. Love your neighbor. They're gonna literally smack Jesus in the face because they want to fucking have whatever these two parties are promising that they're never gonna give you. Because if they give it to you, why are you gonna vote for them? Again, guys, it's so weird. But I'm already there. I'm at the point where I'm done with it. I was smacked. I smacked. I was smacked a few times. I smacked again, and then I was like, I'm fucking tired of smacked. My cheeks are sore. I guess you guys have really your cheeks are pretty. You guys' cheeks are pretty robust. You guys are fast healers, fast forgetters. You guys take a lot of slaps in the face. Once though, there was once there's one slap too many though, I let it come because they're gonna take your social security. They're gonna literally poison your kids and make sure that they're all autistic. They're gonna be on pharmaceuticals, and you're not. You're gonna see your kids, and you're gonna realize that wow, like they're on drugs. They can't think clearly, and they have anxiety. Uh, and there's a good reason that they have anxiety because we're literally being led by Satan. I mean, I have anxiety too, just thinking about that. Another thing is another reason I don't think you guys are stupid is because if you really realize what was really happening, that we really are being led by Satan, and evil is literally amidst us, like true evil, and they're murdering children. They're sacrificing. They're sacrificing our brothers and sisters in uniform for oil. If you really realize what was really happening, guys, you'd have anxiety. So maybe you're better off just getting slapped in the face because when you finally wake up and look up at what they're doing and what you're signing off on by voting for them, you're probably gonna have a moment where you're super. You might have like a meltdown. You might want to kill yourself. But I want to tell you guys, don't blame yourself. They're Satan. Satan is the father of lies. This is what they do. The important thing is that we find a way to overcome him and evil. And in the end, good always wins. So it doesn't matter what you did in the past. What matters is what you do now. So what I want to tell you, white people, you're not a racist. Don't feel bad for slavery. It wasn't really you. It was these. It was these same people that are all rich. The Vanderbilt. It was the same people, and they never stopped. It had nothing to do with you guys. Y'all suffered too. And what matters is not slavery or what happened. You had nothing to do with that. What matters is what you do now. That's important. Think about the present, guys. Think about the present. And like Albus Dumbledore said to Harry Potter in The Half-Blood Prince, he said, "There will come a time, Harry, when you must choose between what is right and what is easy."